Ladies and gentlemen, the war between US, Israel, and Iran is now making a big impact. It's now escalated many times beyond my imagination, and it is now potentially a stock market crisis that could spell a stock crash buying opportunity for me. So let's watch on and let me analyze what's happening and what the opportunity could be. So right now, this could potentially be a major oil crisis because the Straits of Hormuz is potentially all shut down, and the stock market could react as the oil price goes up. So in this analysis that I'm going to provide you, I have gotten the help of the most powerful AI system called Claude for scenario analysis. Not just myself is using this, but the US military is also using this right now in military operations. So I thought I could use the same system and analyze, and I'll present to you what they say in terms of the scenarios moving forward. So what we know on the ground is that the US and Israel has struck the not just the Iranian military target, but has also confirmed a kill of the Ayatollah himself. So Donald Trump has explicitly called for the Iranians to stand up for a regime change, and this is a real political attack. And right now, he's orchestrating a attack on the government. So what do you expect the government to do when they are being threatened, right? So there would be likely a retaliation of a many form, which exactly has happened. So Iran has retaliated not just on Israel, but also on UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan. That's quite a lot of countries, right? So one time they just go brum, 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 brum. So there are blasts reported in Dubai and Doha for a second day. Strikes are continuing with no signs of ceasefire. The Straits of Hormuz is now on a shutdown. Major oil companies, tankers owners have suspended crude oil LNG shipment, and I will talk more about it later in this analysis. Now, the key thing is this: that LNG is now basically what we call zero out. At least 11 major LNG tankers have paused their shipping. Iranian state described the waterway as practically closed, and there are no pipeline alternative, from what I understand, for LNG. Must go by sea, full stop. So a lot of the Asian buyers are now scrambling for alternative, and they just can't find it easily in the short term. So the Straits of Hormuz is now practically closed. 20 million barrels of oil goes through the Straits of Hormuz, and right now, about 20% of the global oil supply is now affected. And there are no LNG alternatives for this. So basically, Qatar and UAE facility may have to shut down their production entirely, and that's quite serious. 11 tankers were confirmed paused in their shipping as at Sunday morning, and much more are expected. Now, talking about the stock market before we provide you the various scenario in terms of impact. So let's take a look at what the baseline is. So the S&P 500 was at 6,878 points as of Friday. Okay, from the all-time high is down by about 2% or so. So that forms the baseline. Dow Jones and Nasdaq were also down by roughly 1% each. And these are anticipation of what's going to happen on Saturday, which already happened. The oil prices are now hovering at $67 for WTI, and Brent crude is about $72, $73. And we shall monitor what will happen to oil prices the minute the oil market opens up, and this will set the stage of what could happen to the stock market. So everything is about oil, 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 gas, gas, gas. So there are three analyses that Claude, the AI, provided. Um, I would take them, of course, with a pinch of salt. Of course, nothing predicting stock market using AI is quite a dangerous thing. But I think more importantly is the scenarios, right? Let's not be hard fixed on the exact number, more the scenario that could happen. Think of them more as a high probability, low probability, or base case. So there are three scenarios forward, and the base case is that there will be a prolonged conflict with contested corridor. Okay, more than 50% chance that will happen. There's a small percentage that suddenly everybody say, "Okay, don't fight anymore. We are friends again." Or at least, if not friends, let's be friendly and not let's not slap each other and poke each other. Okay, there's a very small chance of that happening, and I agree. Okay, and there is a slightly higher chance that this could escalate into a full regional conflict with a lot of choke points and things like that. So these are the possible scenarios, and let's just watch on. The optimistic case, which is a rare case, Claude give it a 15% probability, is that there would be a de-escalation, right? It's not impossible because Iran foreign minister has already indicated his willingness to talk if the strikes were to stop, okay? And there could be a ceasefire by tomorrow. Now, I think that Donald Trump don't really want a prolonged attack in the sense that you will affect stock market. But however, he wants certain objective to be done, taking out all military strikes, military sites, especially the missile production capability, drones production capability, and maybe some leftover cleanup of some possible nuclear risk or something like that. And on the regime change, I don't know he will go as far as pushing that to happen, but at least right that this is one possibility. If both sides decide to talk, they cease fire. Wow. And within a short while, the Straits of Hormuz opens up. Then, okay, everybody will turn happy. The oil prices will spike up a little bit, but, spike up a little bit, but gradually go down by Friday. So everything almost back to normal. Remember, Iran's oil is not is being sanctioned and not easily available in the market, although there's some black market movement. But what we are concerned is the Straits of Hormuz. So we want that to resume. So if this would happen, there may be only about 2 to 3% stock market impact. Okay, maybe in the first day or at least in a whole week, and that's it. Okay, wars generally don't result in big market downswing unless there's secondary impact such as oil. Okay, so they are looking at maybe settling around 6,750 as the lowest downside in the optimistic case. Now, the base case is that this conflict will go on at least for some time, and the U.S. Navy will try to free up the Straits of Hormuz to allow some of these tankers to continue to ship. Now, but that's dangerous because the Iranian military could strike these places or mine the straits. So that could be a concern, and the fight continues, the disruption continues, and as a result, oil prices could spike by $10-20 on Monday close. If that were to happen, then that could be a shock to the stock market. Now, if this doesn't resolve, the oil prices could potentially shoot up to $90 to $95, which is very high. And then there will be some panic that will spill over to the stock market as well. Now, there are some Barclay analysts that says that the oil prices could hit as high as $100 a barrel. Wow, that would be quite serious. Okay, now if that were to happen, then the stock market impact on Monday could be as high as 4 to 6% according to Claude. Now I think that that's maybe a little bit serious for Monday. Okay, but that's what he says, and for the whole week could go down as much as 6,300 points to 6,500 points. So in short, this is a up to 10% drawdown. Um, I think this case is likely for a whole week if the fight don't stop, okay, and the Straits of Hormuz continue to be blocked. So our eyes should be on the Straits of Hormuz, okay, that's the key one, and oil prices. Now, if these two continue to be in trouble, then the stock market would likely to have a negative reaction of this magnitude. So let's watch whether see this happens. So this is the highest probability case according to Claude, 55%. And there is a pessimistic case, not unrealistic. Okay, in fact, that's better, more higher probability than the optimistic case that the Iranians allies launch more attacks at the Red Sea, the Houthis, and they mine the straits, and all the blasts continue in a massive way in Dubai, Doha, and all the region. Airlines are not allowed to fly from these major places. Oil prices were to go up massively high within 1 or 2 days, hit $100, and even hit $100 to $120 if the straits remain closed throughout the week. Now, in such scenario, the S&P 500 could have a massive 6 to 8% downturn. Now, that's very rare, very, very rare. I only see it during COVID, that kind of a massive downturn of 6 to 8%. And circuit breakers could be triggered. And throughout the whole week, the S&P 500 could drop as high as 5,800 points or so. Now, that's very, very extreme. I don't think so. I don't think so. But it's hard to say how military operations turn out to be. I cannot predict how they will fight. But the best thing is we don't need to predict, right? We just need to observe. So, summing up, okay, ignore these two numbers. Summing up, the S&P 500 optimistic case could be somewhere around after 1 week. Okay, after 1 week, 6,700 points. Okay, the base case it would hit 6,005. Okay, end of the week 6,004. The pessimistic case will be 6,004 after day one, and then 6,000 after 1 week. Okay, so these are all the scenarios that were painted. Again, right now, how are we supposed to know whether this is going to come or not? The best part is we don't need to predict. We just need to observe and react. So now, who are the winners in the sector? Energy sector goes up. Gold prices gone up. Okay, defense sector go up. Now the people who lose, wow, shipping will actually get hit. Airlines and travels get hit, and this one will be in trouble. Companies that rely on shipping and airlines to ship their goods will also get hit as well. So I think this will be a major hit on a lot of sectors. So for Singapore, Malaysia, and 165 followers, I'll just say this. There will be a hit, especially for Singapore, because we virtually import all our energy. So this would straight away have a right down impact on the bottom line in a negative way. And if that is so, then Singapore most likely will have to try to strengthen the Sing dollar to fight this inflationary impact. Okay, it's very sian, right? We just overcome the great inflation of 2022 and 2023, and now we might have to face with another one. So what to watch out for is really to see when on Sunday night, okay, the oil price opens for the futures market, and see what could the first sign be, and maybe we shall see how it goes, and we also see the political situation, does it escalate or de-escalate, okay, and of course whether there are reaction to by the Iranians allies. By the Houthis and all the other guys. I'll just say this, okay? This is a very dynamic situation, very difficult to predict, okay? And this way I come to a very important two points I want to raise. Number one, right? Every oil shock eventually will normalize, will come to a halt. In 1973 was a very prolonged oil embargo, okay, and the oil prices shoots up massively, and the oil price crashed by a fierce 48%. 48%, okay. Recovery took 23 months. So that's quite fierce. I don't think it will be that scenario. Okay, I don't think because that was a case where the world was against Israel and in some sense US. But in the Gulf War will be a closer one. S&P 500 fell by 20%. The oil price doubled. And of course, the market later recovered, but within 12 months. And 2022 Ukraine war, S&P 500 went into a 25% bear market. Okay, and after that, I don't think it's fair to attribute the entire 25% bear market to the Ukraine war. The energy sector was hit. Okay, but again, right, it eventually recovered as well. So everything will recover. So I wouldn't be that concerned if you are able to hold on. So this is where I will just say explicitly, this is the crash buying opportunity I have been waiting for. Okay, I've been waiting for. I'm ready. And let me repeat to everybody again the basic kung fu of crash buying. Preparation is everything. Preparation is everything. So tonight, live stream. Okay, I'll try to do it. Even it's late, I'll try to do it. So don't miss it. Remember, hit subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't miss a single live stream. For those people who like to get small updates and things like that, okay, whenever I see interesting things that are happening and my community members will post it, do scan this QR code and subscribe to our Telegram channel. Okay, and the channel is very active because of this crisis. So let's see what will happen. Don't miss the happenings. Okay, I didn't ask you to fire like me. Not everybody is suitable to handle crashes, but this will be exciting to watch. Okay, let's meet each other again tonight in our live stream. I'll see you late at night. Okay, bye bye.